Hello, welcome back. We are now talking about vendors. We have been talking about working with the customers. Those are people that buy from us. Now we're going to talk about working with vendors, and those are people and businesses we buy from on a regular basis. So I want to get started and talk to you about how to set up the vendors and how to edit it. And then I will tell you how to merge vendors and how to pay the bills. If you remember, we go to the customer center by clicking here. The way you get to the vendor center is by clicking here. You can also click vendors in your icon bar, or you could go to the menu and choose vendors and go to it that way. You notice your vendor center looks very much like the customer center. You will see a list over on the left of your active vendors. You see the vendors that you clicked on, the information about that vendor there, and some information at the bottom section here. Now when you look at the vendors, notice I'm currently looking at the active vendors. If I want to click on the down arrows, and I would see all the vendors that we have, so that would open up this left part, that if I had a vendor that I wanted to make active or inactive, let's say that one here for example, the X makes it inactive, and clicking it again would make it active. That way I don't have to see the entire list, even though that there are some I would want to hide. Now you can see also the balances right here is what you owe to those vendors, and the attachment side right here. Over on this side where the vendor information is, if you wanted to edit one of this vendor, you could click on that vendor, or you could come to this pencil and edit it that way. Either one would do. What I want to do is go ahead and add a new vendor so you could see how this process works. Just like with customers, you're going to click right here to add a vendor and click new vendor. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the vendor name. Let's say it's whatever vendor you want to put in, and notice there is a place for the opening balance. This would be as of the start date of your company file. How much money did you owe this vendor? The next thing you want to do is put in the company name. I'll just copy that in. Then you have a place to put in, if it's a person or a contact, their first and last name, things like that. So if you're actually going to do mail merges, it's going to pull from this field, not from up there. So that's why you want to make sure you have as much as this field filled up. So I could say this is John Smith, and I could put in his title, and I could fill in the phone number, fax, and all these steps down here. Like that. The next tab on the left is your payment settings. Now if you're putting in the address and it doesn't recognize all of the field, like you've left out certain field like the postal code, then you could just put it up here. That's it. Now I'm on the payment setting tab, and here if I have an account number with my vendor, I could just put that in. It could be that vendor gives me specific terms, and when I'm writing a check to the vendor, I can put here how they want the check made out. I can also set a credit limit, so that way if I add a bill and it puts me over the credit limit, it will pop up a notification saying, do you still want to add this bill? Then I would say yes. You could click here and add a rate and put a fixed rate for different items that the company actually performs for you, or you can have a custom rate depending on the service. I'll cancel that. And then tax setting is the next one, and so something very, very important that I told you way back. when you have subcontractors that work for you, they are not employees, they are to be put in as vendors. Here is where you put in their tax ID number and the fact that they get a 1099. You just check the box. The next tab is your account settings, and remember also that you have a preference turned in, that where it will pull in the last bill options provided you put in the vendor. So there is really no need to have this in here. I'm gonna go ahead and click OK here, and now I can see my vendor up here. And now everything you see down here as far as the transaction, contacts, to-dos, that's the exact same thing as when we went over the customers.